Welcome to the Explainer. Hey, have you ever felt totally stuck in the gym? Like the weights just will not go up no matter what you do? Well, you are definitely not alone. And today, we're going to dig into the science of how to absolutely shatter those training plateaus for good.
Yeah, it's a feeling well, it's all too familiar for anyone who's serious about lifting, right? You're being consistent, you're dedicated, but for some reason, the progress just stops. It's just not clicking anymore. I mean, you're putting in all the work. You're tracking your lifts, you're eating right, but the numbers on the bar, they're stalled. The mirror isn't showing the changes you're grinding for. It's just so frustrating, isn't it?
And to top it all off, your workouts just feel boring. The same old 3 sets of 10, week after week, can start to feel like a total chore. And that fire, that motivation that got you started, it can really start to fade when the routine becomes, well, just routine. Okay, but what if I told you that science has the answer? A way to break that monotony and spark some serious new growth? Well, the good news is it does. By diving into the research, we can actually unlock a whole toolkit of advanced techniques. These are designed to provide a brand new stimulus and, you guessed it, kickstart your progress right when you need it most. All right, so let's get into the science of it. To really understand how to break a plateau, we first have to get a handle on the fundamental signals, the things that tell our muscles, hey, you need to grow bigger and stronger. And this quote right here, from a huge 2019 systematic review, it really nails it. Researchers basically pinpointed 2 primary drivers, 2 main triggers, that are the absolute cornerstones of building muscle. So here's the key takeaway, the big aha moment. Pretty much every effective training technique you've ever heard of, it's all just a clever way to manipulate one or maybe both of these 2 pillars, mechanical tension and metabolic stress. So let's break down what those actually are. Okay, first up, mechanical tension. This is probably the one you're most familiar with. It's literally the physical force, the stretching force, placed on your muscle fibers when you're lifting something heavy. Think about a heavy squat or a really tough bench press. That direct strain, that's what creates the microdamage that kicks off the repair and growth process. It's the raw brute force signal for growth. And then we have the other side of the coin, metabolic stress. Now, you definitely know this feeling. It's the pump, it's the burn. When you're cranking out higher reps, all those metabolic byproducts like lactate start to build up in the muscle. This whole chemical cocktail swells up the muscle cells and sends a powerful signal to adapt and get bigger. It's a completely different trigger, but man, is it potent. Okay, so what's really cool is how we can take this science and use it to train smarter, not necessarily longer. I mean, who doesn't want that, right? So let's look at a couple of techniques that are all about time efficiency. All right, check this out. This perfectly shows the magic of what we call agonist-antagonist supersets. In a traditional workout, you do your bench press, then you'd rest for, say, 90 seconds. But with a superset, you finish your bench press and, bam, you go straight into a bent-over row, which works the opposing muscles in your back. The genius here is that while your back is working, your chest is actively recovering. You end up packing way more quality work into the exact same amount of time. It's a total game changer for efficiency. Next up, a true classic intensity technique, drop sets. Oh man, these are all about generating insane amounts of metabolic stress. The idea is simple. You take a set all the way to failure, then you immediately drop the weight and you go straight back to failure again. You can even do it a 3rd time if you're feeling brave. It's brutal, but effective. And you should not underestimate how powerful these are. Get this. A 2018 study was, frankly, pretty shocking. They found that for trained lifters, a single all-out drop set on the triceps actually led to more muscle growth than doing 3 separate traditional sets. Think about that. That is an absolutely incredible return on your investment of time and effort. Okay, so we've covered efficiency. Now let's talk about pure, raw intensity. These next tools are all about pushing past your limits to create a stimulus so powerful your muscles have no choice but to respond. First up is something called accentuated eccentric loading, or AEL. Now, here's a really cool piece of muscle physiology for you. You are way stronger lowering a weight than you are lifting it. That's the eccentric phase. So AEL takes advantage of this by intentionally making that lowering phase heavier than the lifting phase. Maybe you have a spotter help you lift 100 pounds, but then you lower 120 pounds on your own. It creates a level of mechanical tension that your muscles have probably never, ever experienced before. All right, now look at this number, 20 to 30%. Because what I'm about to say might sound crazy. What if I told you that you could build serious muscle by lifting weights that are only 20 to 30% of your absolute max? Sounds impossible, right?
Well, it's not. It's totally possible with a technique called blood flow restriction, or BFR. The idea is you use these special cuffs to safely restrict blood from leaving the muscle you're working. This traps all those metabolic byproducts we talked about earlier, creating an absolutely insane amount of metabolic stress. You're essentially tricking your body into a massive muscle-building response, but with weights that feel ridiculously light. And the cool thing is, science has given us a very clear, evidence-based recipe for this. The go-to protocol is one big set of 30 reps to start, then just 30 seconds of rest, followed by 3 more sets of 15 reps, again with only 30 seconds of rest. It's super quick, unbelievably intense, and the research shows it is incredibly effective. Okay, so we've got all these awesome, powerful tools in our new toolkit. The big question is, how do we actually put this all together? How do we build a plan to finally smash through that wall? Well, the key takeaway from all the research is this. These techniques aren't meant to be your entire program, day in and day out. Think of them as strategic weapons. You deploy them when you need to provide that extra stimulus, when you need to bust through monotony, and just shock your body into adopting again. And this right here, this is your ultimate cheat sheet. It really simplifies things. Let's think of it this way. Are you short on time? Supersets are your best friend. Want to absolutely finish off a muscle group with a crazy pump? Throw in a drop set to jack up that metabolic stress. Feeling strong and want to overload with pure force? HER is your ticket for mechanical tension. And hey, if your joints are feeling a little beat up, BFR is the perfect way to still get a killer muscle-building workout with super light weights. So the next time you walk into that gym and you feel that familiar feeling of being stuck, remember this. You now have a whole science-backed toolkit at your disposal. The only question left is, which technique are you going to use to break your next plateau?